Yep.
Cowboys going to wrap it up this week, the NFC East, that is.
Yes, they are, Molly. And Stephen A., actually, before I even get into my point, Stephen A., you got this all wrong. Because Stephen A. always talks about how they always let you down. Not yet. Cowboys fans the hopes aren't high enough yet. But they will be after this week. Because the Cowboys are going to win. Why are the Cowboys going to win? And they're going to essentially wrap up the division. By default, the NFC East is terrible. It stinks on ice. It stinks out loud, whatever expression that you're comfortable with, Stephen A. It's terrible. And the Cowboys are the least terrible team in a terrible division. The Eagles have had the classic Super Bowl hangover this year. They miss Jay Ajayi a lot. You know, they're banged up in their defensive backfield, really banged up. And so you look at this Cowboys offense right now. How did they push their chips into the middle of the table? Two ways. One, they went out and traded for Amari Cooper. We're going to find out about this coach and quarterback. We're going to give no excuses, Stephen A., as you would say, and traded a first-round pick for Amari Cooper, and he's going up against a team with a banged-up secondary. What does that mean? I look for a big big game from Amari Cooper. That's one way in which they push their chips into the middle of the table. And the other is, Stephen A., I said when they made that deal for Cooper, everyone just assumes they're trying to find out about Dak. Before you isolate the quarterback, he's the last guy you're going to find out about. You know, if you think maybe he has a shot to be a franchise guy, everyone goes before him. And that includes the coach. And the way the coaches pushed his chips into the middle of the table said, look, if I'm on the firing line in any way, which many people believe he is based on the way the Cowboys were playing, and the kind of mediocrity that you've documented well, Stephen A., that the Cowboys have displayed in recent years, I'm going to have to run. Going to have to run Ezekiel Elliott. That gives us our best shot. So they're running Ezekiel Elliott against the team. Let's see if they can stop him. It's tough to stop Zeke, especially with the Cowboys' offensive line rounding into shape. Amari Cooper is playing in a favorable matchup. Dak has been big on third down recently. He's been making plays when they need him to with his arm and with his legs. And that defense has been ferocious recently. The Cowboys will beat the Eagles this week and essentially wrap up the NFC East.
Well, here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys looked absolutely sensational against the New Orleans Saints. That defense was something to behold. It was something special. I give credit where credit is due. We all know how I feel about Ezekiel Elliott acquiring Amari Cooper. You look at the Dallas Cowboys and the way that they've been rolling right now. Obviously, they're the team to beat in the NFC East, okay? Y'all wanted me to say it, I'll say it.
Yeah.
Now,
say it again.
Now, having said all of that, you know, obviously you look at them. Should they be the favorites this weekend? Sure. Should they win this weekend? Sure. You know what I have to say in response to all of that? I'll be damned if I admit it. Not until I absolutely have to. The hell with them. I'm not giving the Dallas Cowboys nothing until I absolutely positively have to. I'm going to hold on to dear life. I'm going to hold on to dear life. So rather than focus on the obvious narratives, because we all know the way the Dallas Cowboys have looked compared to the way the Philadelphia Eagles have looked, we understand that the Dallas Cowboys should win this week. The hell with all of you Cowboy fans. I think you make me sick. I can't stand y'all. I ain't giving up nothing until I absolutely have to. So I'm going to hold on and find wiggle room around this, Molly. I'm going to find wiggle room around this,
okay.
Mac. Let me tell you how the Philadelphia Eagles can win this game.
Please
I
do.
pray that they will. Number one, Josh Adams is rushing for over 4 yards a carry. Let's keep that in mind, okay? He's rushing for over 4 yards a carry, actually 4.9 yards a carry. That's 5 yards per carry, okay? We look at Zach Ertz, the way he's been utilized, the elevation of Golden Tate and how the chemistry between him and Carson Wentz continues to develop and shine. Carson Wentz is actually completing 69% of his passes. We cannot ignore that, okay? So if you are the Philadelphia Eagles, let's take into account the kind of things that we say about the Kansas City Chiefs, which we will get into later on in the show. We talk about how you keep their offense off the field. We talk about ball control. We talk about those kind of things. Well, we can talk about those things in favor of Kansas City's offense. How come we can't talk about that in favor of the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of how they could potentially neutralize the Dallas Cowboys? Excuse me, Carson Wentz with Nelson Aguilar, with Zach Ertz, with Alshon Jeffries, with Golden Tate, with Josh Adams averaging nearly 5 yards a carry, even though it's a 23rd ranked running attack in the football. You can sit up there and look at them and say, you know what? This is a division rivalry.
Yeah.
It is the NFC East. Even Mollywood has to admit,
Yeah, they beat up on each other.
sometimes it don't look like Mollywood. Everything that glitters ain't gold, baby. The bottom line is you look at the Dallas Cowboys, there's reason to believe that the Dallas Cowboys can fall this weekend, especially when you consider their history of mediocrity in the face of prosperity. I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to sit up there and tell you I'm holding off a dear life. I ain't giving Dallas Cowboys, them stinking Dallas Cowboys fans, nothing.
You're not focusing
I'm going to sit there and say the Eagles stand up. Eagles stand up. Handle this. That's what I need.
Molly, this man worked in Philadelphia for 17 years. He's got a lot of Philly in his heart. A lot of Philly in his heart.
Yeah, but I think more hatred for the Cowboy fans.
But you know who didn't have that much heart this year? The Philadelphia Eagles. They didn't play with so much heart this year.
And yet they're only one game behind.
The division stinks. You could see the Super Bowl hangover coming. And I will even take this. And when they lost back-to-back at home, and there was a road game in between, but 2 consecutive home games, and they collapsed in the fourth quarter the way they did in the second one, I told you then the season was over. Stephen A., even when you go back to last year's Super Bowl, you talk about, they can win with ball control offense right now. Not really. They really miss a giant.
Well, I got a question, Max.
Look, when you were talking about Malcolm Butler not playing in last year's Super Bowl and Bill Belichick, and I told you, it's not my original thought. I think it was like in USA Today for the win, someone floated the theory that Belichick didn't play Butler because he was daring Nick Foles to beat them through the air because they knew, and Nick Foles did to his credit, but that's very Belichickian. Let's see you beat us with your second or third best thing. That's right. That's right. That's right.
I like that. I'm not laughing at you. I like it. It's funny.
The point was last year, the thing they did best was run the ball, and then Foles played out of his mind in the Super Bowl. That has not been the case this year, and with Carson Wentz, it's not the same.
I just finished pointing you a running back that's rushing there for literally 5 yards of carry. But I'll end the segment by asking you and Mollywood this question. Didn't y'all say the division stinks?
Yep.
I mean,
right.
Yeah. And NFC least this year.
All right. I'm sorry. What division is the Cowboys in? Isn't this a divisional playoff game?
Yeah.
So if the division stinks, okay, then that means the Dallas Cowboys, some of that stench is on them too. And last time I checked, they're only up by one game.
Underperforming.
If the Eagles win this weekend, if the Eagles win this year, if the Eagles win this weekend, is the division league tied?
Is it what?
It's tied. It's tied if they win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Stephen A., look at the Eagles' schedule. Look at real quick. You know who they have next week? The Eagles got to travel to Los Angeles to play
call
a
me
team
next
that you
week.
may have heard
Call
of,
me next
the
week.
Los Angeles
Let's
Rams.
focus on this.
Then they host the Houston Texans, who haven't lost since I was about 16 years old, apparently.
So
that's a tough. And then they finish up on the road at Washington. Divisional rivalry game.
Do you know Zeke's record against the Eagles?
Listen.
Do you know Zeke's record against the Eagles?
No, I don't. Molly,
do you want to know?
No, I don't. I don't.
Deflecting.
Molly,
It's 3-0.
Molly, Max, you're messing with my spirit.
Okay.
You're messing with my spirit.
I'm trying to hurt your soul.
Let's move on. Let's focus on this Sunday.
A lot more to get to here on First Take.
1 week at a time.
Including the incredible 99-yard touchdown run by Derrick Henry. Wait till you hear what these guys have to say about the Jags defense. Stephen A., take it away.
Absolutely. We got much more coming up on First Take. Should Carmelo Anthony join LeBron on the Lakers? I'll tell you why they would want to team up in L.A. Plus, I can't wait to see my friend Tim Tebow to get his thoughts on the Heisman race and Urban Meyer's retirement. Plus, I'll tell you how much of a chance I give the Chicago Bears against the Los Angeles Rams this weekend. Stay right there. All that and more coming up. First Take in the house. Don't touch that dial.